Hey, how you guys doing? I just got back from, had a meeting with Lawrence Police Chief, uh, and I wanted to meet with him. I had requested a meeting with him last week, and I wanted to meet with him because I had some questions about, um, the incident that happened at Sunset Hill back in September 2021 when I was doing my mask mandate protest there outside of a school called Sunset Hill. And there was, the incident was caught on camera, and KCTV5 out in Kansas City came over and did a news segment on that, and I've done a video on that here, but I'll include that news segment here at the end of this video as well. And just the more I think about what happened with that incident, the more questions I have, and the more wrong I think it is. I mean, I always thought it was wrong, but the more the more I think about it, just it's obvious to me that something wasn't handled right. And what I mean by that is, with that incident, we have a guy caught on camera, unprovoked, just hopping out of his car, stealing my signs and attempting to turn that sign around and swing, wanting to swing on me like it's a weapon. It was caught on video. You had the victim statement, which was me. So caught on video, victim statement, which was me. You had a witness that was driving by and said that he would stop and be a witness, and so he was. So they had a witness statement, and then they had the crossing guard, who you can also see in the video footage. He was a witness as well. So you got those four things, and at the end of that KCTV5 news report, the reporter concludes by saying that no charges have been filed, and that's still true to this day. Nobody's ever contacted me after that day, whether it was the police or the prosecutor. Nobody has contacted me about it, and as far as I know, no charges have been filed. And so I wanted to meet with the police chief and say, the current police chief was not the police chief when this happened. There was an interim chief at the time. So I wasn't saying like he's done something wrong, and I didn't even really expect him to have any familiarity with the case to that extent. But he was aware of the report, and I showed him the video, and I just wanted to ask him and see what he thought of what all goes into the decision behind not pressing charges. And so he said what I thought he would say. He's like, well, that's up to the DA to decide if they want to press charges or not. And I'm like, well, I understand that, and I figured you'd say that, but my question is like, why didn't you guys charge the guy that day and send the charges up to the DA to pursue or not? So like, for example, when I got arrested 6 weeks later at West Middle School for protesting the vax clinics there, I got charged that day. I got charged with 3 felonies that day and spent the day in jail. And so that's why my question for him is, why didn't the police go and charge that guy? I mean, you got him on camera, you got him caught in the act, you got the statements, you got all this evidence, and nothing's charged. And so that makes me think, with all that evidence there and nothing done, it makes me think that there's something there. There's some kind of bias. And so I asked him, I was like, if I was a protected class of people, whatever that protected class might be, if I was someone other than who I am, would hate crime charges, not only regular charges been filed, but would hate crime charges have been filed as well? And he said, depending on the circumstances, it's a possibility that it could be. And it's like, yeah, I mean, and so it's like, I don't get that protection at all. And in fact, the city not pressing charges on this guy gave the city basically the message and free reign to do whatever they wanted to me and my group of friends that were protesting with me. And they did just that. People acted a fool all the time to us, and nothing ever happened. We got shot by airsoft guns, tried to be ran over multiple times. One time in front of Schwegler, in front of the police officers that were there. Guy tried to run me over, go out of his way to run me over, and the police let him go. But I'm just saying, like, there was no deterrent there. There was no deterrent there, and I believe that factored into, just 5-6 weeks later when I got arrested up at the West Middle School vax clinic. I told the police chief this today too, that If that guy at Sunset Hill would have been charged and it taken seriously, the West incident could have been avoided, because it would have been a deterrent for people to say, oh, I'm going to go up and I'm going to confront this guy, or I'm going to do this to him, or I'm going to act that way to him. It'd be a deterrent, but that deterrent was never in place. And so every time we went out there, we had to worry about whether or not, somebody was going to do something to us. And people did all the time. People did all the time. And so he said that he would, he would look into each one of the things. I mentioned some other things. I mentioned, the gun being pulled on me, and in 2022, and the threat of the gun being pulled on me, and then the gun pulled on me, and nothing happened with that either. And I want to know, well, why isn't it taken seriously? Why didn't anything happen? Why weren't there any consequences for people that did stuff? I damn sure know that I would be arrested and have consequences for sure if that happened. I mean, like I said all along, what I got arrested for at West Middle School, I got charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and the deadly weapon was the stick that held my protest sign. I got a guy that threatens to shoot me and pulls a fucking gun on me, and he gets let go. Nothing happens to him. They don't even get my side of the story before they let him go. And it doesn't make any sense to me, other than that there's some biased policing that was going on. And I want to get to the bottom of it. I want to start looking into it and getting some answers here, because this shit ain't right, man. Shit ain't right. But like I said, I'm going to include that KCTV5 news report here at the end of this video, so you can check that out too. But I appreciate you guys checking out my video. We'll talk to you guys later.
A school day started out with a scuffle between two adults. It happened outside of Sunset Hill Elementary in Lawrence. Police say it happened because one of them tried to steal a protest sign. KCTV5's Nathan Vickers is live to tell us what happened here. Nathan?
Well, Brad, since the start of the school year, there have been demonstrators here at Sunset Hill Elementary, some against masks, some for masks. But every day of the school year so far, there's been one man in particular out here holding up his signs. You'll always find Justin Spies standing by the Lawrence School District offices around 3 p.m.
I'm out here every day.
He's been protesting the district and county mask requirements.
Zeitgeist always moves. And in this country, we look back oftentimes at the stuff that we did as a society and say, what were we thinking?
In the morning, Spies demonstrates by Sunset Hill Elementary. He usually sets up across the street from Matt Hornicke's house near the crosswalk.
Day one, first day back to school, protester, anti-mask protester decided that he was going to sit on the corner over there and make sure that he got his word out to everyone.
He doesn't agree with Spies, and he says he's tired of the spectacle. But even he was surprised when he saw this going on outside. His security cameras show what happened.
Saw the blue car pull up and jump out, take the signs out of his hands, threw them into the middle of the street, which got Justin, is his name, riled up, and they were out in the middle of the street.
The video shows Spies chasing after the man.
I defended myself from someone that was taking my property and was a threat to my physical well-being.
Hornicke wanted to break up the scuffle right away.
Hey! I was yelling at both of them 100%.
He called the police. The man who grabbed the signs left before they arrived.
If they have to resort to that instead of arguing it, then I know that I'm right.
Hornicke doesn't think the man who grabbed the signs handled things the right way, but he wishes the protests would stop.
Keep our kids safe. Help keep our kids safe. That's all we're asking for. Please voice your opinions, do it in the proper manner, and just leave our kids alone.
Today, the Lawrence Police Department told us that they actually made contact with the man who grabbed those signs. They said that they submitted an affidavit to the Douglas County prosecutor, but right now they haven't made any arrests and no charges have been filed. Reporting live, Nathan Vickers, KCTV 5 News.
Thanks, Nathan.